WWE has a strong history of supernatural and scary characters. Here are the 10 scariest WWE wrestlers ever. Number 10. The Boogeyman. Something about a man who smashes a clock on his head and holds live worms in his mouth is pretty scary. The Boogeyman is one of WWE's most beloved supernatural characters, and Martin Wright managed to do a lot more with a gimmick than a lesser wrestler could. While championship wins were hard to come by, he spent most of his time terrorizing wrestlers, something he continues to do to this day in sporadic appearances for the promotion. Number 9. Visera. Nelson Frazier Jr. played a few characters during his time in WWE, but the scariest was undoubtedly his run as Visera. Visera was introduced to fans as an enforcer of the Ministry of Darkness, to behold. What made him so effective was that he was effortlessly scary, which is pretty rare in the business. Unfortunately, his in-ring work never matched his intimidating presence, and his matches were often marked by very middling and botch-filled offense. Number 8. Kevin Thorn. Kevin Fertix had multiple gimmicks during his time in WWE, starting as a character named Seven while in Ohio Valley Wrestling, later becoming Mordecai, and eventually Kevin Thorn while in the WWE rebrand of ECW. Mordecai and Kevin Thorn stand out at his most popular. After getting some more training in OVW and a short time away from the WWE, Fertix was rehired and brought into work on ECW with a new vampire character alongside his Valley Ariel. The original plan was to have them partner with Gangrel, similar to a third version of the Brutes, but those plans never materialized. Number 7. The Undertaker. Undertaker is the number one example of WWE creating a scary character with a basis in horror movies and turning him into something special. When Undertaker was in WCW, he was just a big guy. When he came to WWE, he was the dead man, a zombie-like character who came to the ring and put his opponents in body bags at the end of matches. When the Attitude Era arrived, Undertaker morphed into more of a supernatural cult leader. He had superhuman powers, which included shooting electricity, and even ascended after his death in one match. He led a group called the Ministry, where he was his scariest, and he became a true icon over time in WWE. Number 6. Doink the Clown. Looking back on Doink the Clown, it is easy to see him as a stupid gimmick. However, the original booking for Doink was not what the character morphed into. See, when Matt Bourne came to WWE, he took on the role of Doink, and he was a terrifying WWE character. Doink the Clown was not the lovable prank-pulling clown wrestler that others portrayed him as later. Doink was an evil clown. He was sinister and cheated to win, using dastardly tactics. When he saw kids in the audience, his goal was to scare them. The original Doink the Clown was brilliant and scary, and it only took WWE a short time to ruin him. Number 5. Jake the Snake Roberts. Not all scary wrestlers in WWE look like monsters. This fact is true with Jake the Snake Roberts, someone who was just a regular guy. Albeit a very evil man, Jake came to the ring with his snake, Damien, and often laid him across an opponent after beating them. Jake also was the master at psychological warfare and often had his opponents beaten before they ever stepped into the ring with him. It is something that Bray Wyatt is mastering right now in WWE as well. Jake took Undertaker to the brink of sanity and drove Macho Man Randy Savage completely nuts. He was evil and as scary as anyone. Number 4. Kane. When Undertaker first appeared in WWE, he was Kane the Undertaker. WWE dropped the name Kane, and Undertaker was all that remained. However, Paul Bearer turned on Undertaker and started to tell tales of a long-lost brother that Undertaker had named Kane. The story was that Undertaker burnt down his family's mortuary as a child and killed them. His brother, though, survived and was burnt and driven mad. That was Kane, who then returned to WWE and sought revenge against Undertaker. For years, Kane was even scarier than Undertaker and rained hellfire and brimstone onto those he crossed paths with. Number 3. Bray Wyatt the Fiend. Bray Wyatt's Fiend's persona was the most frightening thing WWE had given fans in years. It was a callback to men like Mankind, who came to the ring in a mask, with ominous music, and only cared about hurting people. However, Bray Wyatt added something to his performance. He was the Fiend, the scary monster who wants to hurt anyone and everyone who gets in his way. There was also Bray Wyatt, who acted as a rehabilitated children's show host who wanted people to follow him. It is similar to Mick Foley, who himself had multiple personalities. Bray Wyatt is a genius and one of the scariest wrestlers in WWE history. With his passing in 2023, he leaves behind a terrifying legacy in WWE. Number 2. Papa Shango. When Godfather received his WWE Hall of Fame induction, he spoke about the different gimmicks he had to portray before he found the one that clicked. He said playing the Godfather gave him a chance to be himself. However, before that he was an MMA fighter, and after that he was the Godfather. With that said, his first character was a scary wrestler known as Papa Shango. His entire purpose was to come in and feud with Undertaker, giving one a scary supernatural character and even scarier one to battle. He was a voodoo priest and could control Undertaker when he got the urn, but his time was short in WWE. Number 1. Luke Harper and Erick Rowan. There have always been scary tag teams in professional wrestling. Demolition was one of the most famous in the 80s, managed by Mr. Fuji before they had a face turn. Recently, 2 former members of the Wyatt family reunited and formed a team known as the Bludgeon Brothers. This team was Luke Harper and Erick Rowan, and they destroyed everyone. WWE pushed them hard, having them dominate even great tag teams like the Usos and New Day. It didn't look like anyone could beat him until real-life injuries slowed them down. So today I explained to you in this video 10 scariest WWE wrestlers ever. So what do you think about this video? If you like the video, be sure to like it and also subscribe to my channel. So I say goodbye for today. May you all be blessed.